What is up, everyone? This is Jarrett from Living in Cary. We're back again with another one, and today we're going to go over the pros and cons of Apex. So, without further ado, let's get at it. So the first pro we're going to talk about is jobs and job growth. So RTP is still bringing in jobs. For those of you who don't know, RTP stands for Research Triangle Park, which is where the vast majority of the jobs in the area are located, and they're home to many reputable companies, including a lot of tech firms as well. So the area keeps bringing in jobs, like I said. Apple, if you haven't heard, is coming to the Raleigh area. There's still rumors that Nike is going to open something up in the area as well. 2 biotechnical companies just came into the area as well. Long story short, there's no shortage of jobs. And to that point, there's actually a surplus of jobs. Right now in RTP, a study just came out that showed there is a job surplus in RTP of about 64,000 jobs. And in Wake County alone, which is where Apex is, of course, there is a job surplus of about 42,000 jobs. So there are no shortage of jobs if you are looking to find work. Next up, we're going to talk about crime and safety. So Apex is a very safe town, and we can see so in the stats. So for violent crime, it comes in at a 0.9, which is extremely low. So nice job. Then we see property crime. That's going to be, package stealing, theft, robbery, vandalism, stuff like that. So that comes in at a 9.4. A little higher than violent crime, but it is still very low at a 9.4. So great for Apex, and also the surrounding towns to Apex are extremely safe and some of the safest in the area. So you really don't have to worry, and you have that peace of mind. So at number 3, in no particular order, we're going to talk about housing. Now, we have housing as both a pro and a con, which we'll get to later, so you'll see the con side. But right now, we're going to stick to the pros. So as we said, it is a growing area, and there's a lot of new developments popping up. So this can be a good thing, because if you're looking to move to an area and a custom home is something you want or have always dreamed of, there is definitely the possibility for that. So you can contact us, and we'll help you talk to the builder and figure out, the nuts and bolts of your home and really make it what you want it to be. So you don't have to, buy resale if you don't want to. The pro is you can really come in and pretty much build your home how you want it and suit it to you, which can be a huge pro for some people. So keep that in mind. And with these new development neighborhoods, there's going to be, of course, incredible amenities and some mixed-use developments as well. For example, if you haven't seen our Sweetwater video about Sweetwater Apex, they have an incredible mixed-use development coming right into their neighborhood, which provides a whole bunch of entertainment restaurant options. So if you're interested in that, check that video out after this one. But that's an example of how new developments in housing can be a pro. So you got custom homes, and you might have an awesome development like Sweetwater coming up in your area. Next up, at number 4, we have location. So the location of Apex is awesome. It is super close to anything and everything you could possibly want. So we have 20 minutes to RTP, Research Triangle Park, where most of the jobs are, as we said. It is 20 minutes to Raleigh. It is 25 minutes to Durham. And it is 20 minutes to RDU, Raleigh-Durham International, which is the airport in the area. Now, if you want to do some stuff in surrounding towns like Cary or Holly Springs, that's going to be about 15 to 20 minutes as well. So you really are in an awesome location, and it's just a short drive to pretty much anything you could possibly want to do or need. So +1 for location. So next up, we're going to talk about really the town feel and kind of how it compares to other areas. So Apex to us and to a lot of people, frankly, is a more rural, kind of calmer, maybe a little quieter area than some surrounding towns. For example, Cary. And this is due to the fact that, well, frankly, it's smaller than Cary, coming in at under 60,000 people for the population, where Cary is over 160,000 people. Also, Apex is just under 22 square miles, where Cary is just under 60 square miles. So you can kind of see how you would get a smaller town feel from Apex, but also I would say that Apex is a little less developed in the sense that you get more trees, you get more of that, kind of woodsy environment, and you have a little less commercial space and commercial properties. Cary, in some locations, you can't really go 5 minutes without passing a shopping center, where Apex gives you a little more of that, you're kind of in the country feel, and it's just a little quieter and a little more rural, which might not be for everyone, granted, but we personally see it as a little bit of a pro, and it might be what some people are looking for. Not to knock Cary in any way, because as our namesake, maybe we're a little biased, but we love Cary. But just keep that in mind if you're looking for a little more quieter, rural feel. So another pro we're going to talk about is the weather in Apex. The weather in Apex still sees all 4 seasons. So you still have winter and you still have snow. But you see a lot less than you would in the north. So Apex annually only sees about 4 inches total in snow. And most of the time it'll snow, and then by midday it'll be melted. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. You still get snow, you still get that cooler weather, but you don't have to deal with the snow. So it typically melts pretty quickly, and you don't have to deal with all that other stuff that comes with snow. So you get the beauty without all the work. So very nice. And as far as temperature goes, it'll dip into the 30s at points, but that's really about it. Doesn't get much colder than that. So you still can enjoy some jacket weather and some brisk, cool weather if you still want those 4 seasons. And yes, as we will see, there is still skiing in North Carolina, so you can still get your winter sport activities in. What's better than that? And next up, we have as a huge pro are property taxes. So between the combined Apex and Wake County tax, you are going to pay approximately 98 cents for every $100 of assessed value per home. So if you have a $350,000 house and it's assessed as such, you'll be paying under $3,500 annually in taxes, which is pretty awesome. So you can't really beat that. So another huge pro are property taxes in Apex. And certainly last but not least on our pros is the downtown of Apex. Apex has one of the most quaint, charming downtowns in the area. If you've seen our other videos, you've seen downtown Cary, you've seen downtown Holly Springs, but nothing really compares to how quaint and charming these old historic buildings are. And just the colors, they're not very high up. It's just nice. You can see from the B-roll what we're talking about, and they have shops, restaurants, anything you can imagine. It's nice to just go for a walk, and it's one of our favorite things about Apex is just how beautiful, quaint, and charming their downtown is. If you're ever in the area, would definitely recommend at least a drive-through, if not walking through and just enjoying everything. Last time we were there, we met this couple with the most adorable golden retriever puppy ever. Maybe minus my golden retriever, who's now 7. But anyway, these are things you would miss if you were just driving. So if you can, give it a walk or stroll through. You won't regret it. If you're thinking about moving or relocating to the Apex area, just shoot us a call, text, or email. we have a real estate team ready to help you move down until you're here loving Apex. That's going to wrap it up for our pros. Now let's go to the cons. So let's talk about the cons. Our first con we have are schools/school system in the area. So due to pretty much the massive influx of people, frankly, the school system and infrastructure has a hard time dealing with it. So Apex and some of the surrounding towns as well, especially in Wake County, some of the schools are capped. So what this means is if you were to move to Apex and there might be a school a block down the road, it's not guaranteed that your child can go to that school. If the grade is capped or if the school is capped, then they will have to go to another school. And this can get a little hairy because sometimes the school might be miles away. They might have, a longer bus commute. They might spend, more time. And frankly, they also might be split up from siblings. If you're a family who happens to have children, the school down the block might have third grade open for your third grader, but fifth grade might be capped, so they have to go to another school. So now your kids are split up. You have to worry about picking one up from one or busing from, It's just something that is very important to know, and some of the high schools in the area as well can be capped. So it's something to be aware of and something you should do some research on. But there are also different options for schooling as well, such as private schooling, magnet schooling, etc. There's options, but just know that schools in the area can and are capped. So something to look out for and a con that we have. So next up, we're going to talk about housing, and we're going to talk about the con side of housing, which is frankly, you may or may not have noticed, but the prices have gone up significantly just in the past few years. So right now, you can see on this chart, the median sales price is $490,000. And you can see just a couple years ago, it was in the 300s. So it's risen fairly significantly. And if you've seen our videos or you've been following the housing market, it's due to a number of factors. Frankly, the demand in the area is very high. With what has happened in the past year, people are looking to relocate, they can work remotely, etc. So they're moving around. And this is one of the areas that is getting an influx of people. So demand, then we have supply, which is frankly pretty low. So supply can't keep up with demand. That creates a lot more competition for housing. Another factor is new construction. So in the Raleigh-Durham area, there's a lot of new developments and new construction. And building materials, including lumber, went up significantly in the past year or two. So builders are now looking to cover their costs of these by increasing the price on new construction homes. Additionally, some builders will release certain lots to a mass group of people, and they'll only essentially auction off lots. So they'll say lot XYZ is open for bid, and the keyword there is bid. So now you're going to bid against a bunch of other potential homeowners, jacks the price up even more. So you can kind of see where we're going. Prices are pretty high. And it's very competitive and supply is low. And you can tell this by the median days on market. So when a house gets listed, how long it's on market until it's under contract and sold, it is under 10 days. So you won't find houses sitting. Houses are flying off the shelves and people are really active and eager to jump on something. So less than 10 days on market is significantly low. And not only that, but the housing inventory is under a half a month. So that is also extremely low as well. You see where I'm going, and this is why prices are so high. So we have that as a con. Another con we have going along with that, along with housing, is in a lot of these new construction developments, the builder wants to maximize the amount of homes that they can put on their allotted space. So oftentimes you will see that even though they are single family homes, they will have extremely small footprints or property sizes, and they'll kind of almost look like townhomes. So that's also something to keep in mind if you're looking for property or you're looking for space. You either have to find the right development, or you might have to look at an older development where you get a resale property that was built a couple years back before they really started to maximize this. But if you don't care about property, then hey, good for you. You don't have to maintain it. If you're finding this video helpful, give us a big old thumbs up and hit that like button. And also comment down below, what are your opinions so far on Apex? Last but not least, we also have location as a con. And this is going to be probably a little subjective to some people as well. We have the location as a con due to its vicinity to beaches and mountains. Because yes, you can still ski in North Carolina during the winter. So, it is just about 2.5 hours to the closest beach, Carolina Beach. It's going to be just under 4 hours to the popular Outer Banks. It's going to be about 3.5 hours to ski at Sugar Mountain, and it's going to be about 3 hours and 45 to 50 minutes to ski at Beach Mountain. So, if you're a big skier or big beach goers, just know that you're a couple hours drive away, and depending on where you're coming from, if you're coming from the Midwest or somewhere where you don't have beaches, you might be thrilled to be 2.5, 3 hours from the beach. So again, it's subjective, but just know that you're going to be spending 5 hours in the car or more, potentially, if you want to do a day beach trip. And if you wanted to ski, it's going to be even more. It's going to be, close to 7 hours for a day trip in the car to ski. So keep that in mind. And that's going to wrap up our video on the pros and cons of Apex. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.